Welcome to the Bad to Rad series, where we take the 4-stroke Yamaha Superjet and unlock its full potential. Each episode will feature upgrades, tips, tricks, and techniques to keep you in the tray longer. On this episode, we're going to address the most common concern about the new 4-stroke Yamaha Superjet, and that is pump cavitation and cornering traction. Both of those are very much intertwined, and there's two parts that you can swap out that will help that a ton. So, we're taking a look at the two stock parts here. It's going to be the stock ride plate and the stock intake grate. As you can see, the stock intake grate here has 3 large intrusion bars and 1 very small foil that does not extend below the hull. So this is going to be flush with the bottom of the hull. You can take a look at the ride plate here. Not only is it heavy, it is very flat and does not have a lot of chine. We're going to go below the ski now and take a look at the parts that we did replace. So, we've got the Watercross of Texas intake grate. As you can see, it's very different from the stock one. It has 2 large foils that hang down below the hull of the ski. You can also see that the foils are farther forward versus the standard foil on the stock intake grate being in the center. So it's going to load the pump harder and faster. So in our testing, we went from a completely stock ski, GPS with a full tank of gas at 54 miles an hour. You'd think that this, with its giant foils and hanging below the hull, that it would be slower, but it actually gained 3 miles an hour and GPS'd at 57 miles an hour. We are doing a test, top speed test, and we're going to run the buoys with the new Watercross of Texas intake grate. We just changed it out. We just put gas back in it. So we're trying to, it's about the same temperature, 93 degrees, same day. And we're going to go and try to do top speed run and buoy course. I like the braking, very good. And that is also with a full tank. So with the intake grate, you get multiple benefits. So with this one, you get 2 to 3 mile an hour increase from stock, as well as increased braking. And increased braking, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but it actually is way more predictable, especially in chop. So this is going to be being below the hull. It's going to allow it to hook up better when you are turning, as well as when you are going straight in both flat water and chop. One of the interesting things, though, that we did find when we were doing the testing is with just the intake grate, the increased performance overwhelmed the stock ride plate very quickly. So as I was going through the buoy course and I was running through it, I went around a big double after a couple laps, and I had it tilted over, and then suddenly, whoom, it just let go. So with the loss of rear end grip with just the intake grate, that told us that it was time to replace the ride plate. For the ride plate, we chose the Pro Watercraft Racing ride plate. The Pro Watercraft Racing ride plate is actually physically longer than the stock ride plate, has more chines or strakes or whatever you want to call them, as well as them being sharper than the stock ride plate. So increased amount and sharper, deeper. You can take a look at here, you see how they're rounded there, and then no center right there. So, with the ride plate, you are going to gain increased traction while in a straight as well as cornering. So, when we did the testing on this ride plate and the intake grate, we replicated the situation. So basically we filled it back up and put the GPS on it. I went and ran the buoy course and I did a top speed run. So we had no detriment to the top speed. So we had the 54 mile an hour, totally stock Superjet speed. We had the 57 mile an hour GPS speed with just the intake grate, and then another 57 mile an hour top speed run with the ride plate and the intake grate. maximum speed 57. More stability, and not really a noticeable decrease in speed. As I was going around the buoy course, I had 0 spin out issues with the new ride plate. Way more confident, takes chop way better. It actually gives you a little bit more nose pressure, so your nose is not popping up, as well as it sticks when you go around the corner. This pair together is an absolute epic combo. So you've got increased mile an hour, as well as increased traction and confidence. Confidence is a huge thing. And these parts, all it is 4 bolts for your ride plate and 4 bolts for your intake grate. Super simple, and it really addresses the most common concern with the 2022 and 2021 4-stroke Yamaha Superjet.